Hey, what's up, everybody? So, a little wore out tonight, but you know what? In a way, it's a good night for this. Good way to at least reach out to some people. Um, mm, it's one of those nights. Yeah, I know this is going on YouTube, but just a great expression, example to let you know how TI feels. And those of you who aren't aware of what a TI is, it is a targeted individual um, that is a victim of gang stalking. Um, I admit right now I'm a little tired just because I tried to put in so much time with videos pertaining to prophecy in the Bible and links and witnessing to you about the things God has shown me. But like I said in one of my videos, I'm on here for that uh, um, to teach how to understand certain parts of prophecy, things that I have been taught already, to warn you about things that come, about things that I've been shown, so you'll understand and help share some wisdom, But on the other hand, the other reason that I decided to start coming on YouTube, I've already went through these papers, certain parts of it, highlights of it with my local people that watch me sometimes, and I decided, all this information that I got off the internet is pretty on point. It covers a lot of different um, forms of gang stalking and different terms that people aren't aware of and how it works. So that's what I'm here to read this for. It's a lot of great insight, background information. So let's get started so you can find out a little bit about what gang stalking is and how it can affect people's lives um, in a very draining way, violate someone's can violate someone's personal space, the privacy, and yeah, it's just really a sick side of life to be on because it can affect people in so many different ways and even lead to harming them physically. It especially messes them up mentally. After a while, it takes a toll on your thought process, your sleep, um, starts breaking you down physically, and depending on the situation or how bad the harassers want to get with it or what they're capable of, it can lead all the way up to gang stalker harming you. Which, by the way, just because it's called gang stalking, it doesn't necessarily mean that it involves gang members. Gang stalking just be a group of people who get together. Pretty much, they might not want to call it a safe word conspiracy, but it really is conspiracy. If you're zeroing one person out and you're a gang of people ganging up on one person and trying to torment them from a distance using electronic weapons, electronic devices, um, works through radiation, microwaves, sound waves, high, low frequencies used to drive someone crazy. And the technology that they have these days, it can be where it's like right up next to your ear, just like someone um, using a sound device in your ear or causing ringing in your ear. Um, even the V2K thing, which we're going to get into all that. I'm just doing a little introduction, getting people curious because it really is a very, from a low all the way up to a high, deep in the depth level, it can really be a living hell without the flame. That's what some of them on high levels of dealing with it for a long period of time, or in high doses, I guess you would say, being harassed would call it a living hell. And it comes from the big dogs, the top of the pyramid. If it's just people in not so expensive areas, just like average based living areas, then they recruit people. Money talks, you know what I'm saying? Give somebody enough money, just go harass this person, bug the living piss out of them, make them go crazy. We need you to make them look crazy. We need you to run them off from the area. They know too much. Or we don't like them because they're not like us. They're from another country. They're this, they're that. Or just they know too much. Or it's like either do this or wait till they have a chance to kill them one, depending on how serious the conspiracy is. You know what I mean? But okay, I'm gonna get into the examples, guys. I'm like I said, I'm tired. I'm drained right now, so I'm gonna get as much of this in as possible, and probably do another part in another video, because one is a booklet of like 22 pages of it's highlighted throughout it, different highlights. I'm not going to read every single word of it, but I'm going to read the first page of the 22 packet, because it straight up says, the area it's known in, one of the areas it's known in. And other than that, I'm probably going to read the booklet that has like 4 pages. There's maybe 3 or 4 booklets that has like 4 pages to it. So depending on how it goes, may read a little more, may shut it down and just do the rest tomorrow or one day here soon. But oh yeah, and also it's an important factor. Gaslighting is a huge part. It's a huge mechanism in the gang-stalking world. It's a good tool to use if you're a sick person and want to be a covert narcissist towards someone. But so let's see. It says the phenomenology, and you'll find out why it's like a phenomenon. Phenomenology of group stalking, parentheses, gang stalking, a content analysis of subjective experiences. This says abstract on the heading. Epidemiological data suggests that as many as 0.66% of adult women and 0.17% of adult men in the Western world, that is us, we're the west side of the globe, okay, may suffer the subjective experience of being group stalked, parentheses, gang stalked, at some point in their lives. Yet the gang stalking experience has been subject to little scientific study. This paper reports an attempt to elicit the core phenomena involved in gang stalking by allowing them to merge de novo, whatever the word means, through the qualitative analysis of accounts of individuals who describe being gang stalked. 50 descriptions of gang stalking that satisfied study inclusion criteria were identified from the internet and subjected to content analysis. Okay. This says keywords, phenomenology, stalking, gang stalking, group stalking, prevalence, psychological sequelae. Thing that means the same thing as like a sequel, like sequel of events. Okay, now I'm gonna save this packet of 22 pages because I'm not feeling that one tonight. So let's go over here to these important highlights. Okay, gang stalking. Gang stalking or group stalking is a set of persecutory beliefs in which those affected believe they are being followed, stalked, and harassed by a large number of people. The term is associated with the targeted individual, TI, in parentheses, virtual community formed by like-minded individuals who claim their lives are disrupted from being stalked by organized groups intent on causing them harm. The concept of stalking arose in, okay, that's not important when, it's just persecution of domestic violence. Generally, stalking has a single perpetrator who may sometimes recruit others to act I don't know what that word is, seriously on their behalf, usually unwittingly, beginning in the early. Okay, on to the important highlights here. A 2000 online communities is the heading. It says a 2016 article in the New York Times estimated that more than 10,000 people were participating in online communities organized around the conviction that its members are victims of a sprawling conspiracy to harass thousands of everyday Americans with mind control weapons and armies of so-called gang stalkers. Okay. News reports have described how groups of internet users have cooperated to exchange detailed conspiracy theories involving gang stalking. Websites that amplify reports of mind control and group stalking are an extreme community that may encourage delusional thinking and represent a dark side of social networking. They may reinforce the troubled thinking of the mentally ill and impede treatment. A 2020 study established a framework to classify and examine the phenomenon of individuals with the subjective experience of being gang stalked. The study confirmed the subsequent serious sequel of their experience and recommended further research. This stuff, easy diagnosis is somebody just went completely crazy. They went too paranoid with themselves and yada yada yada. It gets looked over pretty much. unless it's deeply like probed and looked into. I'm not going to fool with it. Psychiatrists or whatever, doctors, they just, I mentioned I thought there could be sex trafficking active in this area that I live in, and I get called showing psychotic symptoms when I'm being gang stalked in this area and possibly made to think that girls are getting abused, beaten, raped, and it's just what you call, as far as I know, I mean, I haven't seen proof that somebody's getting forced. It may sound like it, but when you get a group of people together, some girls or whatever that's trying to get you arrested, then it's called sabotage gaslighting. So look that up. Sabotage gaslighting is pretty much like if you fall for it, you're setting yourself up. But try and be a hero, especially if you don't know for sure. It's sometimes what it may sound like. It's better off just to pray that God takes care of the situation, because chances are you're going to be the one that gets arrested anyways, trying to figure out what the situation is and trying to jump, because that's what the gaslighters or the gang stalkers want you to do. They want you to jump and react on a situation that isn't really happening, but they're role playing like it is to get you revved up and riled up, and it leads into PTSD. You it's kind of just like making somebody jump and being mean to them. Eventually, it's going to mess their nerves up, messes them up in the head. You know what I mean? And eventually, they'll start like jerking and twitching because they've been messed with so much. Same thing. It's evil minded. It really is. But yeah, same type of difference, just in using other choices of scenarios. But what is organized stalking and harassment? Okay, we all know what stalking is. We all pretty much know what harassment is. This says organized gang stalking. This is another definition. Organized stalking is a psyops, psychological warfare, harassment, and torture campaign. It's like a campaign where an individual or individuals who are called a targeted individual are covertly as publicly acknowledged by society, surveyed, and harassed by a criminal network group of stalkers and harassers. The act is considered covert, just like a covert narcissist, like I was mentioning earlier, is considered covert because society has not publicly acknowledged it. You hear about it so much, like it's getting so popular, but the odds of anything getting done about it and helping someone get their life back, most places it's slim, because they're not going to do nothing about it, because usually the place that it's going on at, there's multiple other people involved, and they got connects to higher authorities that's going to uh, point the finger at you like you're being a problem. That's gaslighting itself. Like, you're being a problem, you're acting crazy. Do you need to go get checked out? Sometimes they'll just swear up and down already. They're like, well, that's what we already wanted, so let's go get him checked out. That's how we wanted him to act. It's messed up. But I mean, there are different departments that do, I'm sure, know how to go about dealing with situations like that. But nine times, about 9 times out of 10, your little local areas, the small towns, that's the ones where it could probably happen at, and you're not going to get nothing done about it because They're like, this is small and enclosed. It ain't going to go outside of this area anyways. That's what they got in their minds. So therefore, you're outnumbered. You know what I mean? But the act is considered covert because society has not publicly acknowledged it, but the tactics and behavior of the stalkers is often blatant, as seen in a video where a town conducted a horn honking campaign on one family. A town. That's pretty savage, right? But I mean, there's worse situations. This harassment in many cases occurs every day throughout the whole day and infiltrates nearly all aspects of the TI's life, targeted individual's life. Put in this context, since the targeted individual is more likely to die an early death, it don't hit people like that from the beginning. They get wore down so much, so stressed. They're either about to have a stroke, have a heart attack from the electronic weapons is what really does it. That's what really drives people the craziest. It's not the tactics, not the setups, the harassment, the cruel ways of pointing someone out and wearing them down, but the electronic weapons are the harshest, the most harsh part about it, if they're using that. Yeah, that's enough to make somebody have a stroke or a heart attack real quick, maybe in one night's time. So you can imagine taking on nights of it, months of it. A couple years goes by dealing with the same thing almost every single night. If you're not dead yet, you might as well be like a sluggish vegetable. It's already done damage. You know what I mean? But this harassment in many cases occurs every day throughout the whole day. Already put in this context, since the targeted individual is more likely to die an early death, organized gang stalking can be thought of as a form of lynching. I'm not sure what that means exactly, but other names for organized stalking is gang stalking, organized gang stalking, community stalking, community policing, gang stalking, spiritual warfare. Yes, it can be. It is demonic. Spiritual warfare, organized harassment, electromagnetic torture. That sounds about right. Electronic harassment, psychotronic torture, police stalking, government gang stalking. I think I would. That sounds about right. That's where the craftiness comes from. Comes from the best ones that are the experts. They teach the evil-minded underdogs how to really play. That's how they look at it. Common tactics of organized stalking, briding, which is the use of lights, especially vehicle headlights, to sensitize and harass the targeted individual. Gaslighting, a form of manipulation. Well, I already got papers for that. We'll read about that. Lying in wait. Now, here's one that's like dangerous. You don't know what to expect. I actually had a situation like this in my own backyard, man. Put the spotlight on somebody, and I actually heard somebody having a conversation like, we're gonna have to kill him, like, blew our cover type thing. It's like, well, what are you so interested in me in the first place? It's like, you get paid just to stalk me out, to stalk out my house or whatever. Like, I mean, just get up and leave, man, and don't come back. Like, anyways, lying in ambush, lying hid or concealed for the purpose of making a sudden and unexpected attack upon a person when he shall arrive at the scene. In some jurisdictions where there are several degrees of murder, lying in wait is made evidence of that deliberation and premeditated intent which is necessary to characterize murder in the first degree. This term is not synonymous with concealed. If a person conceals himself for the purpose of shooting another unawares, he is lying in wait. But a person may, while concealed, shoot another without committing the crime of murder. So, it can get serious. Some people just be playing a game out of, like, being harsh towards somebody, just trying to pick on somebody. And next thing you know, it goes from 0 to 100 real serious and real quick. Okay, that's one of the booklets. Say the gaslighting. Okay, ones who are not stalking. Okay, those who believe they are victims report that they believe the motivation for the gang stalking is to disrupt every part of their lives. The activities involved are described as including electronic harassment, the use of psychotronic weapons, directed energy weapons, cyber stalking, hypnotic suggestion, transmitted through remotely accessed electronic devices, and other alleged mind control techniques. These have been reported by external observers as being examples of belief systems, as opposed to reports of objective phenomena. Among the community of targeted individuals, gang stalking is described as a shared experience where the gang stalkers all coordinate to harass individuals, and the individuals share their victim experiences with each other. Okay. Um, Okay, so this says there was 128 victims of gang stalking. All 128 victims of gang stalking were judged to be delusional, compared with only 5 victims of individual stalking. There were highly significant differences between the two samples on depressive symptoms, post-traumatic symptomatology, and adverse impact on social and occupational function, with the self-declared victims of gang stalking being more severely affected. The authors concluded that group stalking appears to be delusional in basis, but complainants suffer marked psychological and practical sequelae, uh, like sequel of events, I guess. This is important in the assessment of risk in stalking cases, early referral to psychiatric services, and a location of police resources. While a great majority of those who claim to be targeted individuals do not pose danger to others, one report found that some have acted out with violence, sometimes extreme. In 2022, a reported believer in gang stalking, was accused of killing 4 people in Ohio. He uploaded a video before the shooting in which he said that he wanted to help other targeted individuals and that he will conduct the first counterattack against mind control in history. A manifesto was found on his computer in which he wrote that his neighbors are mind controlling terrorists. And that's what it's like. I mean, it wear you down to the point it feels like you're about to die. It's slowly killing somebody. So, I mean, it kind of is like terrorist type actions, you know what I mean? Depending on the level of it, but still yet, little to big, it's still it's savage. It really is. um, okay, this says, what is organized stalking? Anti-gang stalking center. The we already went over that. A noise campaign is like where somebody's just trying to rev your engine to get your nerves on the edge. You know, that could be like pesky neighbors turning the music up full blast just to wear on your nerves. Like it says, an orchestrated effort to produce stress. That's pretty much what it is with noise. An orchestrated effort to produce stress in a targeted individual through prolonged exposure to significant noise levels. The noise campaign can range from multiple neighbors routinely playing loud music, individual stalkers with air horns or fireworks, or organized repair work that involves a high level of noise. Sensitizing, we already went over that. Street theater, I would tell about my experience. Well, I'll say it shortly. Like I'm a little drained, guys. So ran across a street theater once, coming back towards home. It was at a rest stop area. It was like everybody had their certain stations, their certain acts. Like sitting at a picnic table playing cards. One person over here stretching. Uh, One person getting ready to take a jog. Doing the Rocky stance is what I would call it. I'm just using examples. It's kind of ridiculous, but it's just people pay to keep an eye on you, but they're trying to be incognito and blend in, and it's just like I feel like probably 8 times out of 10 it's obvious anyways, but that's what a street theater is. They're like they all have a part in the act, and big body of people, big group of people that take stations and do their own thing while they're stalking you out. That's what a street theater is. Traffic mobbing, a form of mobbing using bikes, pedestrians, and cars to harass the targeted individual between one destination to another destination. Examples include almost being hit by a car or run off the road where you thought it was intentional. Uh, Here's potential reasons for organized stalking. Kill targeted individual by suicide or other means. Sick, man, sick. But you really do have some gang stalkers that are that evil-minded that they want to keep on doing it until somebody wants to kill themselves. Is sick. Drive targeted individual insane. Ruin targeted individual's life socially, economically, etc. etc. Reduce quality of life of targeted individual. Overpopulation control, that's when it's real serious. That's government level stuff. If there's a hidden agenda by a subpopulation, they will likely want to control the environments that they are in. attempts to control targeted individual for some reason by intimidation, pestering, leech from target for their benefit, such as creating unity with a select subgroup of the population or economic relief, committing evil to earn more money. That sounds like it sums it up right there. Without going any further, if target is a threat to some hidden agenda in some way, they may want to harass the target so that the target becomes antisocial and not a threat. Uh, Perception. Organized stalkers may want targeted individuals to suffer a deep torment or depression in a similar way that the organized stalker has or does suffer. Uh, this one just, I don't even know. It says supernatural ability, alternative motive. Organized stalkers may have supernatural abilities that regular humans don't have. This theory is the opposite to the theory that the government knows that people have supernatural abilities and that the government uses propaganda to diminish the credibility of people with supernatural ability, places those with supernatural abilities in mental institutions. Okay, I just take it they trick somebody into thinking that they got more power than they really have, and that's how they want you to act, and subdues them with drugs and or kills off people with Oh my gosh, that's ridiculous. Anyways, okay, we already went over electronic harassment and torture. Uh, Perpetrators of organized stalking. Okay, perpetrators of organized gang stalking and harassment include the everyday citizens, such as a cashier at a gas station, celebrities, to government officials, including law enforcement and politicians. The stalking harassment occurs in the community where the targeted individual lives or often travels. So many organized stalkers live in the same community as the targeted individual. However, organized stalkers are often complete strangers to the person that they are stalking and harassing, torturing. Uh, Organized stalkers will frequently masquerade as normal citizens or a community watch group. Though there are many criminals within the organized stalking network, actually, they're all criminals in violation of, get this, word to those gang stalkers that thinks it's not anything. The more you have with you, yeah, you'll outnumber a person that you're uh, targeting or zoning in on. But if you get recognized for what you're doing, like the consequences of it, it really is against the law. It is a thing that it's against the law. It's not just a fun get together bully parade. You know what I'm saying? Um, It says actually they're all criminals in violation of U.S. federal and state laws. You know why? Because it's conspiracy related. Don't care how you look at it, it's conspiracy related. You're making plans to harass or invade someone's life. You're premeditating plans. You're gathering a conspiracy on this person to make them go crazy, to drive them out of their home area, whatever. Think about it. It should be a federal and state law. Not all who participate are aware that they are committing crimes. Some may not even know the true purpose of the stalking and harassment. Recruiters of organized stalking are believed to use lies to recruit uninvolved people, such as that the targeted individual has committed some heinous act and should be placed under persistent surveillance. A notable case where this occurred is U.S. versus Matt. It must have been some type of case that went on. Um, I just noticed something that could be helpful. Anyways, um, okay, guys, I'm going to read uh, some highlights on the rest of this booklet, and I'm going to start off in the next video. Um, the last thing that I read, because that's the important thing that people needs to hear. Okay. Again, it says, what is gang stalking? I just want to point out there, especially over the past few years, with national attention devoted to a few notable cases of violence and mass shootings perpetrated by people identifying as targeted individuals. It talks about wielding high-tech weapons of mind control, and some people, their minds aren't strong enough, and they literally go crazy, or what is put into their mind by the hypnotic electronic weapon or whatever by V2K, which we'll go over that eventually. It's actually right down here. It trips them up into thinking a situation's going on that really isn't, and they take violent action because they snap, because they think that's what they need to do out of protection or helping protect someone in a situation or whatever, etc. It says these journalistic accounts in the mainstream press, as well as in self-publication sites like Medium and two vast documentary features for a chronological bibliography. See the references section at the end of this blog post. Okay. Um, okay. Targeted individuals typically describe living in a state of constant fear, seeing evidence of being followed by unmarked police cars. Yes, uh, they do get involved. Yes, they do. That's how the gang of people retains their powers, because if they got a badge that's involved with it, then you're going to be outnumbered. It's usually the badge is a word over the person, and when I just say badge, it's not a police officer to me. It's just a badge. In that case, of being followed by unmarked police cars in every black SUV that drives by, of being claimed being zapped by extremely low frequency radiation or voice to skull. That's how they do it, through radiation and microwaves, and through like radio sound frequencies that drive you crazy. But it's like it's right next to your ear. It's so on point and effective. Technology in every tingling sensation or bodily ache, and of malevolent intentions in other people's every gesture. Interviews often note that targeted individuals don't appear unusual, disheveled, or otherwise crazy, and that some of them are doctors, acclaimed novelists, and other reasonably well-functioning professionals, Indeed, the targeted individual community is comprised of thousands of diverse individuals coming from all walks of life with similarly diverse accounts of who might be harassing them and why. Uh, for example, the who is variably attributed to neighbors, ex boyfriends, employers, police, and other law enforcement agencies, uh, the financial elite, or less conventional sources like I'm reading what it says, even though I know what I'm saying. This is what it says, like people like Freemasons and space aliens, whatever that means. The why is often attributed to retaliation for ending relationships, acting as whistleblowers at work, political activism, having run ins with the law, or being privy to secret information, knowing too much. It's a good way to get targeted. Knowing too much, talking too much. Seemingly motiveless harassment is chalked up to being hapless victims of experimentation by government agencies testing new techniques of surveillance or mind control, pretty much making you like a lab rat. Pretty much. Um, okay, let's see here. All right, I'm gonna cut the video off right there, guys, and I'm gonna um, start it. I'm gonna start back up where I left off at, and see how much further we go with it before we cut it off. But I hope that you guys got something out of this so far and learned quite a bit. That's just about 1/4 of the chunk of it, man, of the depths of it, the different forms of it. So please ask if you guys would, in Jesus, I mean in Jesus' name, seriously, because people that's going through this stuff, um, some have it worse than others, but regardless of what, it's still a pain. It's still a extra burden that is put on someone that they shouldn't have to go through. You know what I mean? And it greatly affects lives, and the corruption really needs to be stopped. So I ask you, please, God will bless you for it. Share this, reach out to other people, explain to them. Please tell them to listen to these videos that I'm making about gang stalking, or listen to other people's videos of their experiences and what it can really do to people. That's the most important thing about it. How it affects someone, the weight, the burden, um, the how how much the weight can be. It can vary, but still yet it's extra weight that shouldn't even be put on somebody. Nobody deserves it except for the ones that's conducting it. They needs to backfire on them uh, to the point to where they don't have a way to stop it and see how it feels when it's just constantly keep on and on and on and on, especially a ringing in your ear 24/7. Some people have to live with that because somebody's doing it to them until they want them to die. Okay, I'm just using that as an example. One of the deepest levels of it. But anyways, guys, just if you will catch me on this next part, I'm gonna split it into parts, and hope you guys spread the word, spread the warning. God will greatly bless you. God bless you guys. Wish you much peace, love, and many prayers in Jesus' name.